If you've ever watched one of those viral, satisfying glass cutting videos and thought, how the hell are these getting millions of views? Here's the secret. They're not made from all these savvy editors or any of these animators anymore. They're actually fully AI generated, and I've built a system that can pump these things out literally on autopilot using n8n and VEO3 with just one single text prompt. And in this video, I'm going to walk through exactly how I built the entire automation step by step so you can start generating your own videos for your business today, whether you're making satisfying content, product promos, or even full-blown cinematic brand videos. This system can literally do it all. And the best part is I'm going to give away everything for free. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I'm talking about the workflows, the prompts, the templates. So therefore, you don't have to figure any of this out by yourself. So let's go ahead and build it together. And just so you guys know that I am not lying to you and just spewing shit out of my mouth, here is some examples that you can actually see from TikTok. As you can see, it's amazing. This one got 31 million views, 2.9 million likes. Here's another one with 1.2 million likes as well. I don't know how many views, but it's amazing. I mean, look at the detail. You can see why it's so satisfying. And then what I'm going to show you is exactly where we built this, which is inside of a tool using n8n. And what this tool is basically a way that anybody, any business owner, any beginner can go ahead and access and use AI to therefore automate anything inside of their business, or just be able to go ahead and create any automation tapping into, for example, like ChatGPT or having some sort of thinking models. But in this video, like I promised you, I'm going to give away this entire prompt for free. I'm going to give away this entire workflow so you can just go ahead and download it. And I have everything located inside of a Skool community. So as promised, everything is right inside of here. It's going to be in free templates, and you're going to be able to find everything in the 100 million view content factory. Right here is going to be all the prompts and links so you can access n8n, VEO3 for pennies on the dollar, which is super cheap API cost, and the exact Google Sheet where everything is going to be stored. And all you have to do is just go into my free Skool classroom where you can just go ahead and either download this prompt and then upload it to this, which you would just click right here, import from file, and then you would upload the actual file right here and everything would download. Or you can go ahead and watch me and follow along and build this node by node with me. And the last thing before we go in and jump into this is I'm going to show you exactly how you can use the video model VEO3, which is the hottest thing on the internet right now. It can generate any ad or anything it is that you want. And I'm going to show you how you can use it for pennies on the dollar instead of having to pay for multi-$100 subscriptions. And this is the easiest way to access the API, so you're not burning a giant hole inside of your budget or inside of your pocket. And it's all going to be from using one tool, which is called Key AI. It's my favorite tool on earth as of right now. All right, so this is the entire n8n system where it's just going to be able to go ahead and create the entire video from start to finish. And I'm going to give you a live example and a live workthrough of how this works. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to go ahead and create a video of a pear. So all I have to do is go ahead and type into this chat message. And as you can see, the first thing it's doing is going to the idea agent. It's going to talk to our Claude model, which is another example of ChatGPT, but most of you guys probably have heard of Claude. It's going to think about the output. It's going to have the output go through a specific format, as you can see right here, how everything is kind of on its own line. And then it's going to create a full scene going through our prompts and our examples. And this is super important because if it doesn't follow this prompt, it's not going to create a good video, and everything really comes down to prompting. After that, it's going to log our data onto this sheet, which I'm going to give away entirely for free for you guys. So therefore, everything can stay organized. It's going to clean the data using this. And then after that, this is where it's going to connect to Key AI, which is the VEO3 model. So it's going to send all that information that I created over to the video generation. It's going to wait until it's done, and then it's going to go ahead and get that video again from Key AI, and then it's going to log it to our sheet. So when this is fully completed, because I am going to have to rerun this because I only put the wait for 1 second, I'm going to show you exactly what the output is. All right, guys, and it just finished creating everything. And as you can see, this is the final production, and this is the actual videos. Pretty awesome. This is another example of what it has created. Pretty amazing, I know. Cool, so first thing you can do is either you can go ahead into the Skool community, download this, and upload it on your own. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you node by node, step by step, so therefore you and your tiny brain does not get lost and you know exactly how to go ahead and do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create a new workflow. And the first node I'm going to do is a chat node. And you can honestly change this to anything it is that you really want. But the reason I do a chat node is just because I want to be able to build it inside of here and test everything inside of here as I go ahead and build. And the next node it is I'm going to go ahead and do is going to be an AI agent node. And the reason I'm doing this AI agent node is because I wanted to take my idea and then I wanted to be able to clean up all the data, so therefore it can get ready to prompt a full video outline. Now, you're probably asking, inside of this AI agent node, what am I even doing? What am I looking at? So right here is going to be the source prompt. Think about this as when you're talking to ChatGPT or any other LLM, for example, Claude, and you just type in a message. So that's what this is going to be. You can either keep it to the chat trigger node, which is what we're going to do for this, because this is the chat trigger, or you can go ahead and use define below, which is where you would type in a custom message coming from you, one of your assistants or anything like that. I'm going to keep it as chat trigger node for this example. And the next thing I'm going to do is add in a property and a system message. All the system message is it's giving the rules and the instructions that n8n needs to follow in order to go ahead and get consistent results every time you talk to this agent. Now, for the system message, let me go ahead and show you. This is going to be inside of that Notion document that I put together with all the prompts and everything it is that you need. So again, you'll just go into my Skool community, you'll click prompts and links, and then this file will open. And as you can see, the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is rename the actual workflow or this agent. And the reason I'm renaming this is because if you want to follow this step by step, everything has to be named the exact same for it to actually work. So the first thing is, if you see I go ahead and run this, even if I do put in strawberry, and I know I just butchered that, but it's okay. You're going to notice that it's not going to run. And the reason it's not going to run is because we don't have a chat model or anything or any sort of brain for this to work as of right now. So the first thing it is that I'm going to do is go ahead and connect a chat model. As you can see, a lot of these are probably familiar to you. You've probably seen these before. You can see Grok, you can see OpenAI, you can see DeepSeek, etc. Now, I typically always use Claude as my model because Claude is typically the best when it comes to creative things. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in my Claude model, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to connect this. So the way you go ahead and connect this is you will set up your Claude account, you'll put in your API key from your Claude account. It's actually Anthropic, and then you can go ahead and set this up. It's very easy to go ahead and connect. I'll just show you really quick. So if you do, so what you guys would do to go ahead and create this key, you'll just go to consoleanthropic.com. You'll just do Anthropic API keys. You'll come into here. You'll use this panel, you'll go to API keys, and then right here is where you will create a key. It'll give you a code, and all you have to do is just go ahead and put it inside of here. So this will be your actual API key, and then this is the base URL that you would use. So now that you have your chat model set up, the next thing is using tools. So the one I always use is the Think tool. The reason I use the Think tool is it allows us to get very good outputs, and it allows the model to really think about what it is or what the request is that we're putting in to get a result from. So I always go ahead and use this, and then the last thing I use is I turn on this and require a specific output, and I will do an output parser. I'll use a structured output parser so we can get clean data and we can get the exact data that we need every single time this this AI agent thinks about something. Now, you're probably wondering again, where exactly do I get all of these prompts and all the information I need? So I'll jump into here, and as you can see, the system message, I have already put this together super good for you. So let's go ahead and do the system message first. I'm just going to copy and paste that, and that'll be good. You can read through the prompt. But one thing to note is the prompt is super, super important, and that's the way that everything gets really created inside of here. So the prompts are one of the most important things inside of here. And if you are going to tweak anything, make sure you have really good prompts. The next thing is going to be the structured output. So this is what I'm using for the structured output because this is the information it is that I'm going to need. So now you can see if I go ahead and run this, everything should work. It's going to think about, or it's going to talk to Claude about what it is that I've already gave it. It's going to think about it, and then it's going to give me an output that's structured. So if we jump into here, we can see the output is a strawberry. As you can see, it corrected my my lack of knowledge on how to spell typical English words here. It's going to give me a description of the color, and then it's going to give me a video title. The next thing it is that we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and create a scene creation node. So I'm going to go ahead and click this again. I'm going to type in and create another AI agent. And now what I'm going to do is define below. I'm going to go down here to scene creation. As you can see, prompt user message. And the reason that we're not using chat trigger node is because now we have the output from this agent it is that we want to use. So I'm going to go into here, and remember, this is like the exact thing that you would type into a large language model like OpenAI, ChatGPT, for all of you that don't know what OpenAI is, etc. And as you can see, these are lit up green, and all that means is it's just pulling an expression. So it's pulling the data that it gave from the output from the node before. And you'll have to make sure you hit expression or else none of this will work. But as you can see, all the information is being pulled in from the previous node. So the next thing is I'll turn on required specific output again, so we can get specific outputs every single time. And then I will add in a system message. As you guys already know, I'm going to go ahead and rename my node right here to scene creation. I'm going to go ahead now and copy this system message. If you want to go ahead and read through this, it's not very important to know, but it's very important to do. And like I said earlier, if the prompts aren't good, none of this is going to work, and you're just going to sit here and waste your time watching this video. So make sure your prompts are always very good. That's literally rule number one. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect this chat model right here. I'm going to move these into the center. For the tool, I'm going to connect it back to the think tool. And then for the output parser, I'm going to have a different output parser. The reason I'm going to have a different output parser is because I'm going to need a different output compared to the first time. So inside of here, I'm going to paste this, and all this is really doing is saying, hey, it's just giving an example, but it's giving an example of what it would look like. I always move these up here just to make it nice and clean. I'll move these into the center because I do have OCD. And now the next thing I will do is it's basically saying, hey, I know that this user, the object is going to be a strawberry. I know the color description, and I know the short video title. This is what the prompt is going to look like. If I go ahead and open this up, you can basically see it's saying what type of video it is to create. It's going to give a template and an example. This is the example prompt that it's going to follow so it can consistently create these videos. These are going to be the requirements and everything, which is why the prompts are, again, extremely important. So now I'm going to go ahead and run this node. As you can see, it's going to talk to our chat model. It's going to think about it, and then it's going to create everything using... it's going to give us the exact output it is that we need using the output parser. So the next thing it is that I'm going to go ahead and create is I'm going to log the data. So I'm going to type in Google Sheets right here. When I go ahead and click Google Sheets, I'm going to do append or update row in sheet. Well, actually, I am going to change it just to append row because we're creating a brand new row. And then this is where you will have to go back to this to the Notion document, and this is where I created a link so you can just copy this document that I have right here. All you have to do is just click make a copy, and you'll have this exact thing right here. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into n8n, and as you can see right here, let me zoom out really quick. So let me pull this down, and this is where we're going to go ahead and log everything. So inside of here, you will have to connect your Google account. All you'll do is just hit this icon. You'll sign in with Google. It's super easy. And then what you'll do is you'll make sure that you do append row. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull up this video or this sheet in this document. So as you can see, it's named 100 million view content factory. So I'm going to make sure I click that. And then I'm going to choose it from the list, which is really just the sheet. I'm going to leave this on match each column manually. And now for the ID, this is how you're going to be able to get different IDs, unique IDs every single time. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I just like to do that, honestly, just for organizational purposes. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. That's all you have to do. It doesn't really require anything other than that. Now for the idea, this is where you can go ahead and use schema to start dragging and dropping things to make your life a billion times easier. Even if you're not a tech person, this is why this code is so powerful, and it's a no-code tool because it's so easy. Now I'm going to drag object into idea. And as you can see, one thing to note is, remember when I was saying it's so important to name these things to correct things, or if you want to use my exact way, to name these the exact way. Because as you can see, this is idea agent. So inside of here, it's called idea agent inside of the code. Now, if you're dragging and dropping, it doesn't matter what you name it. But if you want to copy what I type inside of here, it will have to be called agent node. Or you could literally just do it just by dragging and dropping, and that's totally fine. Naming convention doesn't work. So the next thing I'm going to do is the scene creation. And inside of scene creation, I'm just going to do the video script prompt right inside of here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and delete final production because I don't need that. So what I'm going to do is type in log sheet, and then I'm going to hit execute step. And as you're going to be able to see, it has created an entire new row right inside of here that will tell you the ID number, the idea, and then the scene creation. Okay, so inside of the sheets, what I did do is I remapped it really quick. So we're going to have a little bit more of an explanation. Now, as you can see, it's going to come through because the last time it did just say strawberry. So I went ahead and I basically just remapped it inside of here. So it could take the output from this short video title. So therefore, you have a little bit more of an explanation as to what is being pulled. As you can see, though, I will show you guys live that there is some errors that do come up. So let me go ahead and fix this really quick. Okay, so I'm an idiot. The reason I found out that it wasn't working was because I did this. I connected it to this node. I don't even know how that happened or why that happened, but all I had to do was delete it. And as we will be able to see, everything has loaded up inside of here. I had to test it a couple times, so that's why you might see a couple extra ones, but it's fine. Cool, so the next thing we will do is we will create this cleaner node. All this is going to be is a set node. So I just type in set, and all it really does is just clean everything. So I'm going to go back to my Notion document. I'm going to come on down to cleaner. I'm going to rename the node right here called cleaner. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do the scene creation inside of here. So I'm going to type in scene creation right here. I'm going to take this out. And all this is going to do is rename the output as the value right here. And then this is going to be the information. Again, what you can do, though, if you don't name everything the exact same, is just go ahead and drag and drop right here. But as you can see, when I go ahead and execute this, it's just going to rename the output scene creation. So therefore, we have everything right inside of here. Now, the next node is now going to be connecting it to VEO3, which is going to be our video model. Now, use HTTP requests a lot inside of n8n, and it's really what makes this tool extremely valuable because you can connect to so many different softwares without having to use code, and you can get the output of basically anything it is that you want for your business, but I won't get too deep into that. So right inside of here, what I did do is I put all the information right here so you don't have to go scrambling looking at documents, but inside of here, the first thing I'm going to do is change this to a post. Now, the reason that this is a post is because we're posting this information over to the software it is that we're using. And don't forget, we are using Key AI for this one. So just so you can go ahead and see this, you scroll back to the top, it'll be Key AI, which is right here. This is the software. This is how we're going to be able to access VEO3's video model for literally pennies on the dollar. So if you want to go ahead and create this, you'll go to API keys, you'll create another API key, and I'll show you exactly how to set this up. What you will do for authentication, the way I always like to do it is I will create a general credential type. This one's a header auth. So you'll hit this button right here, and this is how you would go ahead and create a new authorization. Well, actually, you would hit create new authorization, and then right here you would type in authorization. Again, I'm not the best at spelling. And then this is where you will paste the API key. So you'll be able to have it forever, and I recommend renaming it. For your sake, though, if you don't want to do that and you don't want to save the connection inside of here, what you will do is you'll send it as header parameters. You'll type in authorization right here. You'll type in bear. Oh, you do have to do this as well for, my apologies. You'll have to do this as well for this. It'll be bear space and then authorization. And then you'll just put in the API key right inside of here. So the way that you can actually now go ahead and talk to VEO3's model, which is using Key AI, is, as you can see, this is the authorization. So this is the API key. This is the secret password so you can talk to your account on a different software. So as you can see, it'll be authorization right here. And as you can see, this is going to be a header string right here. So the way you can do this, connect your API key, is you will come down here, like I was saying, you'll go to headers, you'll click this on, you'll put in authorization right here. I'll go back to the documents, and then right here is going to be bear and then your API key. And if I go back here, this is where you'll put the value. So it'll be bear with a capital B. This is super important. Went ahead and showed you how to create an API key. Now, the reason I'm deleting this is because, like I showed you earlier, I created a new credential, which just allows me to connect to it every single time. So the next thing that you will need to do is I won't need headers because my header auth is right here. So I'm going to do send body. Now I'm going to use JSON. And inside of here, just so you do know, you can use this curl option, or just to make it super easy, you can use my Notion document, and you will just copy this and you will paste this inside of here. And as you can see, everything should go ahead and connect, but let me change the prompt and let me delete this one. And now, as you can see, it's just going to send this information over to Key AI, which is the API model. So as you can see, I'm using VEO3 Fast because this is the cheaper model. And just so I can show you, if I click VEO3, you have a couple different models that you can use. VEO3 Fast and VEO3 Quality. And as you can see, VEO3 Quality, it just costs a lot more credits, but really the output isn't that much better. So I recommend just using VEO3 Fast to save yourself some money. So with this being said, this should be all set up now. We have a post URL, post method, because we're posting the data over there. We have a URL, which is basically talking to the software. We have our authentication, which is our secret key, our API key that allows us to connect to our account. And then down here, this is the send body. So we're sending our information that we just created over. And now I'm going to go ahead and execute step. So as you can see, we got a code 200, a success, and then this is the task ID. The next thing we will have to do is we'll have to wait now until all this is being created. So I'm going to go to logs just so I can show you. It did get my API request. As you can see, the status is running. It tells me how many credits and the task ID that has been created. So I'm going to create this wait step. Typically, you should create it for around 300 to 420 seconds because we have to give it time to go ahead and create these videos. For the sake of this video and sake of building, I'm just going to do 1 second here, and I'm just going to execute this because the next node we're going to have to do is another HTTP request. This HTTP request is going to be allowing us to get the video. So we're going to get the video back from the VEO3 video model, which is Key AI. So when this is completed, we have to come over and we have to make a call saying, hey, you just created our video. We would like to get that file back now, please, in simple terms. So I'm going to change this to get video for the naming convention. I'm going to leave this method as a get, and then this is going to be the URL that I put into here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this, and then this is the URL that we have to go ahead and use. Again, authentication, you should have already set this up. It's going to be this, or you can go ahead and do the send headers again. That's totally fine. But now we're going to have to use send query parameters right here to go ahead and get this information back. So right in here, I put task ID, so for the name and the value. As you'll see, this is the name, task ID, and case sensitive matters so much here. If it's not case sensitive, that's probably the reason why this isn't going to work, just to future pace you a little bit. And then here's the value is we'll pull in the expression right here, which is really, we're just using this task ID. You can go ahead and drag and drop it. That's totally fine as well. So all of this should be set up, but if you want to be able to read the documents and do it on your own, so you don't have to be reliant on me or any other YouTube video, you would just go right here, and this is the get, because you want to get the VEO3 video details. This is that link. This is how you know it would be a get, and then it's going to tell you right here what is required. So you have the authentication, which is required, which is really just your API key. But then this is the query parameters, and then this is how you know what you do need, which is the task ID, and then this would literally be the task ID, but it's under query parameters, which you'll be able to see right here. Cool. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to see if this is done running, which it has been a success now. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to run this, and as you should be able to see if I scroll down, this is the result that has come back from it. So let me go ahead and show you guys, because you can just copy and paste this and it'll give us a video. So let's look at this result. Amazing. As you can see, it is a great video of a strawberry, just like all these satisfying ones that you saw on TikTok. But we're not just done here, because we don't want to live inside of n8n. We want to be able to create a system that automates everything for us, making your life 1,000 times easier. So what we're going to do is put in another Google Sheets node so we can update the exact sheet that we've already created right inside of here. Let me go ahead and delete some of these because these are just extras. And I ran this testing a lot. So what I'm going to go ahead and just keep it at 4. So the thing I'm going to have to do inside of here is I will append or update row. I'm going to do log, or I'm just going to make this final video. You can make this one whatever you want. But again, we have it, everything connected, sheet within document. We're going to keep it as append or update. Now we're going to go ahead and pull in our exact sheet again, right inside of here. And then right here, column to match on. So what we're going to make it match on is the actual idea. And we're going to go ahead and pull this information from the idea agent. We're going to use short form video. And all this is doing is basically saying, hey, if we have a similar idea, or if we have this exact idea inside of there, we've already logged the note. But what we need now is we need to update it with the final production. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete ID because we don't need ID. We don't need scene creation. We just need that final video. So I'm going to go under the get video. I'm going to go to get results. And then I'm going to execute the step. And it should now update everything inside of here. Okay, so this node just finished running. And as you can see, it is now updated inside of this final production. And you'll be able to see it right here. Now, the good news is, inside of n8n, you have a lot of flexibility, especially as a business owner, because you can make this go anywhere. You can have this inside of your Slack channels. You can have specific team members just be able to talk to this freely from basically any resource or any form it is. If you use Jotform, if you use basically, literally, you can tie this almost to anything. So you can just have this create videos on autopilot. You can also have human in the loop, so therefore humans can approve it. Or be able to change the prompt or change the output from whatever it is that you want. And you can also have it notify you, say via email or anything else when these videos are created. You can also set up triggers so you can make these videos every single day without needing any input from you. There's really so many ways you can get creative with AI to be able to help automate and scale your business. It really just comes down to you and your knowledge. So there you guys have it. This is the full workflow that you have. And again, you have everything inside of my Skool community showing you exactly how to do it. It's going to be the first link in the description, and it's going to be the exact prompt and everything that you need. You can either go ahead and build all of this from scratch, or you can just go ahead and download the template, and you also have all of these. So if you guys liked everything, subscribe, don't subscribe, really doesn't matter. I'm just trying to make your life a little bit easier here. And if you're a business that wants some help with some AI, reach out to me on Calendly. It'll be a link in the description. I'll see if I can help you. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I don't really know yet. But aside from that, guys, I will see you on the next one. Peace.